I'm Dr. Robert Jones, and this is Dr. Steve Pearlstein. We're addressing the ICA's concerns and the reasons why they opposed our bill in New Mexico regarding primary care and in the advancement of chiropractic into complementary and contemporary medicine. One of their issues are prescription and administration of dangerous drugs. Why we had the language of dangerous drugs in our scope of practice. Dr. Pearlstein, can you address that?
Well, two of the things that the ICA is opposing us on and saying that the prescription and administration of dangerous drugs is a bad thing, they're saying that the new educational requirements that were in the bill are vague and variable, and that there are economic motives which are unacceptable for a public policy. This is all completely baseless. Dangerous drugs and primary care drugs are pretty much the same thing, and that's what the bill did call for, primary care drugs. The bill, if one would read it, you would notice that the educational requirements were extremely specific. They comprised a good part of the bill. They went into precise details of the amount of training, the supervision of the training, how the training was going to be administered, and they went into extreme detail. So I don't really see how anyone could say that the educational requirements to have a chiropractor use dangerous drugs, and in the bill we were talking about primary care drugs, are vague and variable. It just was not true. Again, we have another accusation that there are economic motives, and that these economic motives are unacceptable for a public policy. Well, I wish to correct the ICA and let them know that there are no economic motives involved in this bill or any of the bills that we proposed. This is not why we are doing this. This is not what our motivation is. Did you want to comment on that?
Now, our motivation is in New Mexico, we have a deficit of 1,200 primary care physicians as of today. If the healthcare reform goes through, there's going to be 450,000 more bodies put into a system that's already stressed. We propose to the legislators that our profession is educated enough to come and help with the primary care solution. We can help with the primary care solution at the base level of chiropractic, being able to help with triaging and getting people to the right specialists, and then if the chiropractors who choose to go into primary care in a more traditional primary care role, we were trying to have access for that also. That's what the bill was trying to accomplish.
Okay. You know, I want to jump in here and because another topic can be addressed quickly right now. There was an accusation that non-standard informal clinical experience was being brought forth rather than a supervised standard medical education. Once again, because I mentioned the very strict and very detailed requirements of the master's degree program and the clinical rotation hours, we're very clear that there was nothing non-standard about it and nothing informal about it. So that's another baseless accusation.
And there was also provisional requirements in here and provisional license.
Right.
There was check after check, safety nets put into place. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, our profession would be so overregulated with the initial introduction of chiropractic into a more traditional primary care role as compared to the PAs who have 25 months of education here, and the CMPs, the nurse practitioners, who only have a master's degree in this. Those were ridiculous comments made by the ICA, and not only were they detrimental for the chiropractic within this bill, but for chiropractors, whether or not they want to go into this field at all. They put our profession down. They made us look like we're an uneducated, ignorant bunch of practitioners, and that message came across loud and clear to the legislators, and I'm going to sum it up by one of the legislators saying to me, I will no longer support any of the chiropractic bills until you get rid of the faith-based practitioners and that you go into the more evidence-based practices. And that's in a group what the ICA presented to our legislators. the difference between people who want to do evidence-based practice and the people who are in a faith-based practice. And that's not acceptable to the legislators anymore.